We're starting the Supreme Court. This is always fun. This is the first semester where I've got to do this live, this particular slide. Little guessing game. So these are the Life in a Box slides, which have just been made available on Blackboard. All right. Try to guess who this person is. He's quite important in the history of the Supreme Court. I'll give you that clue right up front. I was born to a French refugee family living in colonial America in 1745. My father, like his father, was a New York merchant. My parents had 10 children. I was the 6th of 7 that survived to adulthood. Later in my life, I would become involved in the American Revolutionary cause. Ringing a bell with anybody yet? No. No? Cadence? No. As relations with Great Britain worsened, I was thrust into the political arena. I did not favor separation from the British Crown, as some of my colleagues did, and believed we could work out our differences. I found out how wrong I was when I went with the delegation the Continental Congress sent to the court of King George III to present the Olive Branch petition in London. Nothing was going to change between us without a war. No, not yet. Cadence? No. You've struck me throughout the semester as kind of a history buff, which is why I keep coming back to you.
History is my worst subject.
Your worst subject?
I've never been good with history.
Well, you do so well in this class, and political science and history are very close cousins.
I don't know if anybody is.
Did you know Winston Churchill?
Sure, I knew the name.
I'm Jonathan Parker. I've been your teacher for the last 13, 14 weeks.
Because that's not history yet.
That's not well, it'll be history when you get out of the class. May 6th, it'll be history, yes. I served as a delegate to New York State's convention upon my return and helped write my state's constitution. I became Chief Justice of the New York State Supreme Court and later President of the Continental Congress in 1778. What'd you say, Caleb? George Washington?
Yeah.
George Washington?
I don't know. Probably George Washington.
It is not George Washington.
Alexander.
Not him either. I worked tirelessly until 1794, serving my new country in a variety of roles. I was minister plenipotentiary to Spain during the Revolution and served as Secretary for Foreign Affairs while we were under the Articles of Confederation. Not George Washington. Ringing a bell with anybody else?
I feel like Ellie's gonna be so mad that I haven't gotten it yet.
Maybe. Not John Adams. Yeah, you're just guessing. You're just guessing. Yeah, I was going to explain without telling you who this person is. George Washington gave this person and his wife a lock of his hair. It was something people used to do way back when as a token of remembrance and thanks. Don't ask me why. I think it's odd too. Judging by the look on many of your faces. What'd you say?
I said, here you go. Here's some of my hair
Yeah.
follicles.
So this person, I believe this person's wife, put his hair into this little brooch. Yeah, and saved it that way. So there you go. So that's the story behind that. In 1789, our first president, George Washington, appointed me to be the first Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. While I achieved greatness on the bench, I was unhappy with the limits of my power. I retired as Chief Justice and was elected and served for 2 terms as governor of the state of New York. Anybody? Nada. That was his desk in the upper corner there. All right, here's the big reveal. John Jay.
I would never guess.
John Jay. He was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. He was, unlike any founder that we've had, as in he was not British or of Anglo descent. He was a French Huguenot, as the slide said. And he's an often overlooked figure in American history, which is why I like to draw attention to him in this unit. Good enough?
He was the first Chief Justice. What else is important? What should we remember about him?
You should remember about John Jay, that he was French. I might ask you about that. You know, it was a differentiation from any of the other founding fathers. He was Chief Justice of the New York State Supreme Court. He was President of the Continental Congress, which was the highest civilian post at that time. It was important, but I don't really care so much that he was Chief Justice of the New York State Supreme Court, that he was Secretary of Foreign Affairs, that he went to Spain as Minister Plenipotentiary. That's just a fancy way of saying ambassador. It's kind of a step down from ambassador, but it was what we could get at the time. And that he was the first, this is the most important thing, he was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. He wrote some of the Federalist Papers also. Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, he wrote some of the Federalist Papers as well. You've probably seen the name there. All right. And again, John Jay. JJ. Now, spring class, who I'm talking to right now, don't worry about these questions. They're not for homework. They're not for classwork. We're not going to discuss them right now. Summer class, who I'm going to use this video for, summer class, answer the questions on the life of a box in a box slide. All right, that's the end of this.